It was a dark and stormy night, the kind that seems to seep into your bones, where every gust of wind whispers secrets and every shadow feels like it's watching. The rain lashed angrily against the windows, distorting the glass into a mosaic of trembling reflections. Wind screamed through the trees outside, a shrill, mournful sound, like 100 lost souls wailing in the dark. I sat alone in the parlor of my old Victorian house, cradling a mug of lukewarm tea that I had long since forgotten to drink. Lightning danced across the sky in jagged streaks, briefly illuminating the ornate moldings, heavy velvet drapes, and the antique portraits that stared back at me with cold, distant eyes. The flickering fire in the hearth cast long, crawling shadows across the floor, and for a moment, it looked as though something moved just out of sight. I told myself it was the flames playing tricks. This house had been in my family for generations, passed down like an heirloom, along with its secrets. I had inherited it after my grandparents passed, both within the same year, both under circumstances no one ever fully explained. It was beautiful, yes, with its polished banisters, stained glass windows, and towering bookcases filled with dusty tomes. But the house had never felt empty. There was always a sense of being watched, of being followed by eyes just beyond the edge of the candlelight. That night, as the storm raged on, I heard it. A sound, soft but unmistakable. Footsteps. From upstairs. They were slow, deliberate, each one echoing faintly through the floorboards above me, the kind of footsteps that didn't belong to someone casually walking, but someone searching. I stayed frozen in my chair for a long moment, heart hammering in my chest. The house groaned as the wind pressed against it, but beneath that natural noise, the footsteps came again, closer now. I rose, each movement stiff with dread, and grasped the heavy brass handrail of the staircase. The old wood creaked beneath my weight as I climbed, each step swallowed by the oppressive silence. The upstairs hallway stretched before me like a tunnel, the darkness interrupted only by erratic flashes of lightning. The portraits on the walls seemed to shift in the flickering light, faces slightly turned, expressions a touch more sinister. As I reached the far end of the hall, I noticed the door to my grandparents' bedroom was slightly ajar. That door had always been kept closed. Always. A faint, pulsing glow bled through the crack, not the warm glow of a lamp, but a pale, sickly light that shimmered like moonlight underwater. With trembling fingers, I pushed the door open. The air inside was different, heavy, cold, still. The glow came from the dresser, where an old music box sat open, its silver surface reflecting the light like liquid mercury. I hadn't seen that box in years. My grandmother had always warned me not to touch it, said it belonged to her mother and her mother before her, said it played on its own sometimes, said it was better left alone. The lid slowly creaked wider as I stepped into the room. Then a voice, soft, whispered my name. I stopped breathing. The music box began to play on its own, its melody slow and warped, like a lullaby being sung from the bottom of a well. The temperature dropped suddenly, and a thick chill coiled around my ankles, slithering up my spine. I turned to leave, but I couldn't. My legs felt rooted to the floor, as if the house itself had reached up and held me in place. The shadows in the corners began to thicken, curling into themselves like smoke, and then one of them moved. A figure stepped forward, or perhaps drifted on. A woman in a tattered white gown. Her skin was pale, translucent in places. Her hair hung in damp, tangled ropes around her face. Her eyes, empty, soulless pits, locked onto mine, and I felt something cold and ancient crawl across my soul. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. The room throbbed with her presence, her sorrow, her rage, her loneliness. She raised one hand, trembling, as if reaching for something long lost. I felt her breath, cold and rancid, brush my cheek. The scent of wilted lilies and damp earth filled the air. I shut my eyes. I don't know how long I stood there, paralyzed with terror, but when I opened them again, she was gone. The room was silent. The music box had stopped, its lid now closed tight. The glow had faded, and I could move once more. I didn't stop to look back. I bolted down the stairs and into the storm, rain soaking me to the skin in seconds. The house loomed behind me, its windows like dark, watching eyes. Standing there in the rain, heart racing, I finally understood what I had always refused to believe. The woman in the white dress, she was my great-grandmother. She had died in that very room under mysterious circumstances never spoken of in polite company. Whispers of madness, of seances, of a child lost too soon. She had been trapped in that house ever since. And now, she wasn't just a memory. She had seen me. And I knew, with a horrible certainty, that one stormy night soon, she would come again. And next time, I might not get away.